Thank you very much. Distinguished ranking members recognized for any questions he might
Well,
have.
thank you. Well, let me just begin by saying I stand by everything I said in my opening statement. When Donald Trump was president, we passed the increase in the debt ceiling 3 times because President Trump and all of my Republican friends said you shouldn't politicize the debt ceiling. They changed their tune when Trump lost, and they lost. And the bottom line is that politicizing the debt ceiling was a rotten thing to do, a terrible thing to do, a dangerous thing to do, an awful precedent. And again, things that were in that debt ceiling package that would probably never be able to pass regular order. But I mean, to President Biden's credit, he put the country first and delivered a lot of Democratic votes that my Republican friends were not up to being delivered their own caucus, and now we're in this paralysis because you're fighting with yourself, and lots of luck with that. Secondly, I have a lot of gun owners in my district, too, and they're happy to comply with reasonable regulation because they are sick and tired of children being slaughtered in this country. I mean, every single day there's another massacre, and nobody seems to give a damn on the other side of the aisle. And I think people have had it. People have had it. Mr. Nadler, to listen to my colleagues speak, you would think that the rule that they're trying to overturn would ban stabilizing braces outright. Does it?
No.
I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, no amount of oversight, responsible oversight or regulation can be tolerated because the NRA basically says no. They call the shots here. You want our money, you got to vote the way we want you to vote.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
The United States, we keep hearing that the problem of gun violence, the reason we have so many murders by guns is because of mental health. That's what our Republican colleagues keep telling us. The United States is the only country in the world where we have these mass shootings day after day, week after week. It is a slander on the American people to say that our people are 75 times as mentally ill as those in Canada or England or Germany or any other country.
You know, it's really kind of ironic, especially after the gentleman from Texas's comments about the debt ceiling and all the, you know, the controversy generated by some of the extreme members of the Republican conference over, you know, the debt and the deficit, and we have to, you know, make sure that we're not spending any more money. I'm looking at a CBO cost estimate for this bill. Have you seen it, Mr. Nadler? You know, I'll tell you, you know, there's a cost to this bill, and the cost is over $500 million. And so they're fine with adding another $500 million to the deficit, you know, but then they go after food aid for poor people. I mean, it's like, what the hell is going on here? You know, where are their priorities? I mean, I have to tell you, you know, I've been studying up town hall meetings again in my district, and you know, a lot of people who don't even agree with me, probably never even vote for me, come to these meetings and they talk about the epidemic of gun violence, that they're afraid for the kids to go to a movie or go to a baseball game or go to the theater or go to, you know, to any event where there are lots of people present. And on top of that, in the aftermath of Donald Trump's recent indictment, you hear some of his supporters saying some of the most incendiary things, even invoking the fact that a lot of his supporters are members of the NRA. I guess we all know what that person is trying to get to. I mean, you know, with all that's going on in this country, people are worried. It's not just Democrats. It's not just people who live in urban areas. It's people who live in suburban areas and live in rural areas. And what really bothers them is that in the aftermath of massacres, they don't get the sense that there's any outrage by the people who are pushing things like this. And again, I just point out again for the record, the guy who is the author of this bill, I think has a conflict of interest. I mean, he sells these things, and he's the one who's pushing it. So, you know, I mean, I don't, this place is all screwed up, in my opinion, right now. They have the votes to get this to the floor. I don't know whether they have the votes to pass it. I hope not. But at some point, enough has to be enough. I thank you both for being here. I yield back my time.